When was the last time you asked your most valued customers, how likely is it that you will promote our products, our company, our service to your friends and colleagues? How likely is it that you would recommend us? It's a really important question, and I know sometimes it's quite difficult to actually ask these fundamental questions, but I'm going to show you why you absolutely must do it. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Janice B. Gordon, aka the Problem Solver. I help businesses to grow their revenue one client at a time, and it's important to make it personal to that specific client. And so I've grown, working with one customer, I helped them to grow their revenue by 6 million. And this was within a year as well. And this is really just using the strategies that I talk to you on these live, about on these live training. So it's, listen up, it's really, really important that, you kind of like work a lot smarter in your business and use the well-researched tools and methodology that's out there to help you to grow your business and grow your customer base and make your customers a lot happier. So what I do is I help you to really understand these tools and use them. That's the important thing, because if you don't get it, you're not going to use it. So I try and really break it down and make it really simple for you to implement these strategies in your business so that you can grow your business by whatever million that may be. So we're going to be talking about how to master your customer service loyalty challenge. That's what we're talking about, really. And it's really about mastering a particular tool that is really easy to use. So I'm going to break it down and help you to understand that so that you can really develop the relationships in your business. Now, you can measure and encourage customer loyalty by this one question: how likely is it that you would recommend me? And it's really important to understand that because of assessing your customer's likelihood to recommend you and your products, your company, your service, because of you asking that question, this is your avenue to really start to develop the relationship with your customer and actually build the relationship and really understand what it is that's important to your customer, what it is that you're doing that's important to your customer, and what it is that your customer doesn't like. Really important to ask the question: how likely is that you would recommend your products or our company or our product or our service to your friends and your colleagues? Would they talk positively about you? If you ask that question, you're really going to get some interesting answers, some real valuable feedback that you can use to help you to grow your business. Because, research says that this question is highly correlated, but it's not just the figure, it's actually what you do with the feedback, the answer, but it's highly correlated to your bottom line, revenues. It gives you an opportunity to really grow your revenues, and that's why I think it's really important, and I'm talking to you about it today. And so, the basis of this tool is called the Net Promoter Score. But that's what it is, and I'm going to explain it to you, make it really simple for you to understand, because I've read a lot of articles around all of this, and there's companies that are selling it for hundreds of thousands into other companies, and actually it's something that could be really low tech. And if you know me, I like really low tech. You don't have to buy massive technological tools that you then have to do a culture change to explain it to people. You can actually use really, really simple things. And so I really want you to start to investigate how you can implement this in your business. Start asking that question and then what the follow-up will be. So if you like what I'm sharing with you today, if you like it, please share it. Please tag someone in that needs to listen to this live recording when it's posted. So make sure you comment. I love to get comments. I always go back in and answer all of your comments as well. So what we're talking about is Net Promoter Score, but this is really the low-tech way, and let me explain how it works. So it can be a score between negative 100 and positive plus 100. So negative 100 are all of the people that would not recommend you, the detractors, and then all of the positive. If it was 100% of people that would recommend you, they're your promoters. So that's how you get the range of score from negative 100, 100% of your customers that wouldn't recommend you, and 100% of your customers that would recommend you, that would promote your business. And so the way that it works is that you would ask them the question and they would score, you know, from 1 to 10. So if you got a score of 9 or 10, they're your promoters. These are people that would promote you. They are more likely to buy from you and they'll be loyal to you. So it's really important to know who they are. They will refer you and recommend your products and services. So they're the promoters. But that's only 9 or 10 out of the 10 options. So those that would score you 8 or 7, these are your passive customers. These are people that are completely indifferent to working with you, and they would likely go and work with another competitor as well. So it's important to know who are your passive relationships and that you can work to actually build that. So that those that answer the question, how likely you are to recommend my product, my company, those that answer that from 0 to 6, they are your detractors. These are the people that would not recommend you. It's important to know that. They would not recommend you. And there's a reason why they would not. Remember, they're your customers, but there's a reason why they would not recommend you. And often you can change that. That's the whole point of this. You can actually change their perception of your business or of your product or their experience of your business. But you can only change it if you know about it. So that's why this is such an opportunity to ask that question. How likely is it that you would recommend us? And so the 0 to 6, they are the detractors. They would not recommend you and they're likely to leave you anyway. They're the people that cost you the most money in your business. They may not be your most valued customers, but the fact is they are affecting your overall score. So that you have these as percentages. So if you have, for example, out of your 100 customers, so you as a percentage, you might have 20% of them that scored 9 or 10, so they are your promoters. You might have 15% that scored 0 to 6, so they're your detractors. And then everything else, 65% in the middle, scored a 7 or 8, you know, the passive. So what you do is you ignore the passive scorers, and what you do is you take the detractor score, percentage score, you take that away from your percentage score of your promoters. So promoters were 20, detractors were 15. So that means you have a 5. And your net promoter score is always a whole number, an absolute number. But it's a positive 5 because 15 from 20 is 5. So it's a plus 5. So the way that it works, anything above 0 is a good score. So plus 5 is a good score. If you were to get 50, that would be an excellent score, amazing score, that's brilliant. But plus 5 is fine. You know that you have a positive balance in your relationship. If you're looking at a negative score, you're probably on your way to be going out of business, really. you're having a lot of your customer base that will easily go to another competitor and are probably not talking positively about your business. That is not a great situation to be in, and it's important that you know about that, because you can do something about it. And that's the real benefit of asking your question to your customers: how likely it is that you would recommend us. How likely, and then score it in that way. So hopefully that's clear about how it works. But you can see you don't need to spend millions on this, or thousands, or hundreds. Actually, what I would do is I'd go into a company, I'd look at the most valued customers, and I would actually get them to complete this question. Now remember, the downside to this is your existing customer base. It's actually not scoring your potential customers, but it still gives you really valuable information, because if you improve your customer's experience, if you improve the operations in your business, if you improve your product or your service to your most valued customers, guess what? New customers coming into your business gets the benefit of that improvement, don't they? So you become a better business. Your customer satisfaction overall should increase. But that's only the byproduct of doing this. The real benefit here is the second question that you go in with. So, I hope this is really proving useful to you to understand how one question can really affect your customer service loyalty. And this is the challenge to you. The challenge I'm giving you is to go out and ask the question. It's quite a simple question. How likely is it that you would recommend our products, our company, to your friends and colleagues, and get the score? So, now that you know what your customers are, in terms of promoters, the percentage of promoters, the percentage of passive, the percentage of detractors, it's really then easy for you to put together a strategy of how you're going to improve the relationships you have with this group of people. Like you're going to give different customer segments different things, aren't you? But you start to understand how those scores are distributed within your segments within your business, because it could be that there are more detractors in your highest revenue generating customers. That's a major problem for you. So that's why having this information is so important. You want to work your detractors more towards your passive, and your passive more towards your promoters, and you can develop strategies to actually do that. But what I want you to do is go in with a second question. So once you've decided on which group, which segments, which customers you're going to focus on initially, then you want to perhaps have one-to-one meetings with them, or find a way to actually have a more in-depth conversation, or even really just follow up with a second letter thanking them for answering the first question, and then asking them if they would give you more information because they're the most valued customers and you really want to make sure this relationship works. However you want to put it in, whatever process you may want to use. The second killer question is, what's the most important reason for your score? The most important reason. Because there may be lots of irritating things that your customer finds about doing business with you. But what you want to know is the most important one. What's the one thing that's going to make a massive difference? What's the one thing that shouts out over and above all the other things? Because you don't really want to be working on the little things. You really want to work on the thing that makes the biggest difference to you, and especially to them. So that's why it's such a killer second question. What's the most important reason for your score? So once you've actually got this information back, it's really, really valuable feedback for you and your business. And I hope you can see that, how valuable that second question is. That's why I call it a killer question. You know, it's valuable to your frontline staff, your account manager, you know, senior managers, to the business owner, across the board. This is really valuable, focused feedback that's going to make a massive difference in your business. But it'll only make a difference in your business if you follow up on it. You have corrective action, you know, so you may be that you're having a one-to-one and it enables you to delve a lot deeper into that question and really pinpoint the exact problem, the specific problem that would, and also perhaps look at some of the solutions to that problem that your customer has identified to you that would make, it's the most important reason. So it's bound to make a difference, and this is how it makes a difference to your bottom line. The second question creates so many opportunities for you in your business. It's an opportunity for you to open up the communication with further questions, and really for you to listen and understand more about your customer's specific need and their perspective. This is why it's such a killer question. There is so much gold, so much valuable information and feedback that you can get from asking that question. It's really an opportunity for you to engage more deeply with your connection, in order to deepen your connection, in order to really understand and value that relationship. So that's why it's such a killer question. It's absolutely critical that you don't become fixated on the scores or the numbers. You're completely missing the point of this exercise if you do that. Yes, we would all love to have positive 78 net promoter score, which is the score that Apple Retail has. We would all love to have that. But you know what? If you were to do everything that Apple does, absolutely everything, you still would not have that score. And the reason is you're not Apple. You're not Apple. So you're never going to achieve what they have. But what you need to do is do what you do to the best of your ability in the way that you do it. I talk a lot about, you know, really understanding your point of difference, really understanding what's unique and different about you. So that's why you don't really want to get bent out of shape about your number. You know, this is an opportunity. It's what you do with that feedback and that information that really is going to hit your bottom line. If you do nothing and you're more toward on the negative side, then your bottom line is really going to be stretched, and actually it's not a happy situation. If you're in a positive situation, then what you want to do is really start to use that information to build the relationships that you have. So how can you earn the loyalty of your customers? And I'm going to give you 4 ways of doing this, 4 ways to really start, simple ways that you can change your behaviors so you can change the relationship and you can build the loyalty. So the first thing is really asking the open question and getting feedback. That's the first thing. So, you know, whether you select a group of customers, most valued customers, and you do it with them, or whether it's your whole customer base, but it's important to be asking the questions. Have a process in place where you ask that question. How likely is it that you would recommend us? And then you need to reply in a timely manner when you get feedback, because if you use a survey form in order to do that, then people, if they hear nothing after they've answered the question, you know, and I don't mean the kind of automated thank you response, I actually mean we have heard you, you know, thank you for the score of 9 or for the score of 7, you know, and probably follow up with your your second question, either book an appointment. So they need to know that you've actually heard them. So that's why this is really important, that you've got to reply, you follow up in a timely manner, so they feel that you've read it at least. It's not just died in some survey somewhere and it doesn't really matter. Really important to do that. And then you've got to apply your active listening skills. So, you know, really, really listen. And this is in the second question, because I would hope you would have a selection of most valued customers that you really want to build your relationship with and develop more customer loyalty and move them up from 6 to 8, from 8 to 9, from 9 to 10. And so you would, because they're a selection of your most valued customers, you're having a one-to-one with them. So this is applying the active listening skills in asking the second questions and asking more open questions. But if it's the detractor group, then it may be through another survey, and it may be that you have a selection of those that you call in for a focus group and ask more open questions. However you decide to do it, I've done it 1,000 different ways, but it's important that you apply these 4 simple behaviours in order to ensure that this process is really being embedded in your operations, in your business, to make sure that you're really making use of asking the questions. So the fourth one, the fourth behaviour, is really taking corrective action. There's no point asking the question if you're not going to act on it. So the first thing, remember, was asking the open question, getting feedback. The second thing was replying in a timely manner, so they know that you've heard the feedback. The third thing was applying active listening and really being attentive. And this is where you pick up on the specific need that customer has. This is where you pick up on and really understand their perspective. So it's really important there. And then the fourth is actively apply corrective systems, processes, measures, and you've got to feed that back again. You've really got to tell them that we've listened to you and this is what we've done based on your feedback. So it's important for them to understand they are valued customers. What they say does make a difference. You are listening, and this is what you've done. This is how you've improved the product, or if this is the process you're going to go through to improve the product, or you've removed someone from, you know, the operations, you know, whatever it may be. It's really important for you to take corrective action. It's the corrective action and feedback that hits your bottom line, because if you're not going to do anything, then nothing changes and it's pointless starting this process. So it's important to understand that. You know, if you miss this opportunity of engaging with your customers' feedback, you miss a more important thing, and that is the much bigger opportunity of affecting your bottom line. That's the important thing for you to recognise here. The Net Promoter Score is really just delivering you with this opportunity. That's the point. It's not a number, it's not a fraction, it's not a percentage, you know, it's not a score that you need to race to improve. It's an opportunity. And that's really what I wanted to convey to you today. It's an opportunity for you to grow your relationships with your most valued customers. It's an opportunity for you to improve your processes and your products. It's an opportunity for you to build in loyalty by the customer understanding that they are the most valued. You are going to listen, and you're going to correct whatever issues and problems they have. This is the real benefit. This is when you move them towards being a promoter or up as a promoter, and they are more loyal, they're more likely to recommend, they're more likely to buy more from you. That hits your bottom line. This is why it's so important. The scores are not an end in itself. It's really about happy, loyal customer relationships. That's the most important thing here. The opportunity of having better or a greater satisfaction score is really just the byproduct. The relationship, the opportunity that this creates is the most important thing. The score is the least important. It's simply a byproduct. So what I want you to do, this is a challenge to you, and I please share with me that you've taken up this challenge. I would love to hear back from you. So make sure that you comment and tell me you're going to do it. Make sure you tag in other people to join the challenge, and share this video once it's posted with people that really need to hear what they need to do in order to build the relationship. So I would love to hear back from you and for you to share this with other people. So the challenge is to ask the question, how likely is it that you will recommend our products, our service, our company to your colleagues and your friends? If they recommend them to their friends, they'll recommend them to other people. So it's really an important question. And then you have got to follow up with the killer question. What is the most important reason for your score? So hopefully you found this really useful. Please comment and let me know if that is the case. I really want you to start taking up the challenge, so make sure that you let me know that you have done that. Now, next week, in this Wednesday Wisdom slot, I'm going to be talking about agile processes, how you can implement agile processes in order to make it simple, more cost effective, time saving for you, but more particularly for your customers, because you know I talk about customers. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. We've been talking about customer service and how to build in loyalty and grow your relationships. I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you join me again, British Standard Time, 1 o'clock, right here, same background, next Wednesday. Take care and have a lovely, lovely day, week, month, year.